Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? It's me, it's Ken. We're doing that Volta Art Fair stuff from Chelsea Industrial. Look at this. Stone Step Gallery, straight out of Dublin. And they are displaying the work called Screaming for Joy. Look at that. And that's Paul Hughes in the photo. And now, that's Paul Hughes in front of us. Hey, Paul, how are you, mate? Good to meet you today, and nice to have a chat about the work. So tell me all about what's going on here.
When I answer those questions, they can take hours or they can take a couple of minutes, so I'll keep it short.
I don't think we have hours and hours of battery.
I paint in Ireland. I have studios in Dublin and down in the wilds of Kerry, West Kerry, Southwest Kerry. These works are all inspired by the meeting point of the wild Atlantic coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. It flows roaring, the Gulf Stream up from Mexico, and it hits, first place in Europe it hits is the peninsulas in Kerry at the bottom of Ireland, and they just rush into each other. They're wild, they're beautiful, they're mad, the colours are different, the energy is amazing.
It's really powerful the way it...
And this is actually probably the most calmest one. This is nearly like I describe after that tumultuous coming together. It's nearly like a cigarette after sex. It's like, this is like the resting afterwards. This is the post-tumultuous. So the rest of it is, you can see all that energy. And I have this belief, or it gives me this feeling, that's what I try and paint, is this sense that this meeting of Ireland and this Atlantic is like a love affair. It's like two passionate lovers coming together in a massive hug, and it's beautiful, and the result is amazing. If we didn't have this Gulf Stream, Ireland would be like Newfoundland or Labrador. It would be under lots of snow and ice. So I paint with a lot of energy. I paint a lot of physicality. When I paint, paintings end up mostly on the wall as well as the canvas. I get very obsessive and I get lost when I paint in my head. But what's critical to me is the whole movement of the paint, the coming together of them, the clashing, and what they do together. I love where each painting can take me. I paint in agnostic fashion. I don't start with a middle or a bottom or a top. I move the canvas completely around, and I just keep working it. And I obsess by the direction of brush strokes in that, because a same colour can change colour depending on how you leave the brush strokes and how they go. And sometimes if you even look sideways, they can look like sheets of music itself, because music is a massive part of how of my painting process. It helps me get lost.
So this would be considered one of the calmer ones?
This is again a slightly calmer one. As you can see from the title, it's
a whipped ice cream cone of summer sky. I like the title.
I actually remember I was at the Phillips Collection in Washington, and I was staring at a hopper for about 10 minutes. I couldn't take my eyes off it, and just the blue light's very different from the Irish light. And I came back and I was working in this series, and I think somehow a hopper popped out in this one. And Ireland isn't famous for its beautiful big summer skies, but there was just a couple of days where it was just wild, but it was beautiful.
I like this one because I'm a big fan of blue, and the blue just speaks to me.
Well, it's really interesting because if you look on my website, I have a whole series where I spent 2-3 years. It's called Bastard Blue, and I actually own that title now.
Sweet.
And it was this battle with blue, and all the paintings were just in blue, but I was able to create multitudes of different blues and colours out of it, breaking down, because that Irish light can sometimes be dark and wild. So blue is very, very important to me, and what I did was I learned so much, and I learned how to use all the colours. So one of the issues when you use lots of colour is that you actually kill paintings. Too much colour just creates darkness, a lot of darkness. So there's a lot of time spent over many, many months building layers and pulling it back and building layers. And as I said, thank you.
Sweet. Now this one, it's like straight down, this one.
It can be